So obviously, with the new season, season two, unofficially, officially, we want to kick off some new segments, and one of those segments is going to be called "What If," and what we're going to be doing is taking certain scenarios, situations that's happened, and posing the question of like, well, what if it didn't go that way, and how that would have changed the whole outcome of whether it was that certain situation or a whole career, and who would be affected. So, in light of all of our favorite players, probably of all time, or at least one of them, Kobe Bryant. So, what if um, he was never traded to the Los Angeles Lakers after being drafted 13th by the Charlotte Hornets, and he actually began his career in Charlotte? What would his career have been like? Or how would that have changed the whole era and landscape of the NBA? Who wants to go first?
You want me to go first, Gloves? All right. Let me just read you off this roster. Okay.
Oh, at the time,
This is what the roster would have been.
Charlotte's?
Yeah.
which was 96, 97, right?
I did 95, 96
The year
because
before.
Okay.
97 already
Yeah.
had Divock.
I think
Okay.
Dell Curry was on that team, huh?
Yeah.
All
So
right, go ahead, go
Michael
ahead.
Adams, which I don't know,
I know Michael
Raphael,
Adams is.
Raphael Addison,
Nope.
Kenny Anderson,
Okay.
Corey Beck, Muggsy
No.
Bogues,
Mm.
Mm,
Scott Burrell, Dell
Okay.
Curry,
Okay.
wow.
Matt Greiger,
Matt
Matt
Geiger.
Geiger.
Matt Geiger.
Matt Geiger, sorry, Kendall Gill,
Okay.
Gerald Glass, Anthony Goldwire, Darren Hancock, Donald Hodge, Larry Johnson, Pete Myers, Robert Parrish, Khalid Reeves, Glenn Rice, Greg Sutton, Joel Wolf, George Zedek.
Do the next year. Read off the roster from the next year because I want to see if Larry Johnson was still on there
He was still on there.
for the following season.
Mhm.
And Glenn
Okay.
Rice,
Glenn, I no, I think Glenn Rice already went
He
to.
went to
the Heat.
the
Oh, he
Heat. No,
okay.
no, no. He didn't go to the Heat. He was on. He was on.
Where was he at? He had to have been there because he didn't come to the Lakers till
He
like
was
99.
drafted by the Heat.
Oh, that's right.
Then he was on Charlotte.
Got it.
Then he went to the Lakers
Like 99, 2000.
98 or something like that.
Yeah.
But based on that roster that I said, plugging Kobe in with Muggsy, Curry, uh, Johnson, that was close towards his final years, right?
No, he still
No?
played,
Oh,
but
you're right.
yeah. But he had back problems. He
Hmm.
had back problems throughout his career. So, he still showed up for the Knicks. He played there several years, but
So crazy thing. Now moving forward to the 96, 97, they actually finished fourth in the NBA. They were 54 and 28.
Those in a week
so
each.
then what's your what if? What if he gets drafted there?
So I think Kobe,
Well, stays there.
if he had stayed there, they finished fourth with that same team minus plug-in Vladi Divac, although he was a dominant center at that time. I think they probably would had that probably the same record. I wouldn't say better than that record. I would probably this be the same. I don't think Kobe will be idolized as much because it was such a smaller market. Um, I was even trying to find out how many televised games they had that year, and I think it was only one against the Bulls. It was because it was they were playing the Bulls. So based on
And I
TV
think that
time,
was one of the games that was towards the end of the season because of the Bulls record.
I believe so.
Hmm.
So I don't think he would have got no camera time, and maybe although Kobe it did take him 2 years for him to get like on the major radar, and then LA hyped him up. I don't think he would have gotten that hype, so he may have had a different path. And who knows? He had to work for his spot versus being insert. He might have been like Lamella right now, just off the rip. You're starting, or he's trying to start. Just plugging them in, he may not have had the work ethic to try to get that playing time to get notice. But I think the record would have been at least the same. That's my opinion.
You want to go Blaze or me?
Yeah, I agree with the record. It's tough because Kendall Gill was a hooper and he could score. So I don't even know if he get like Kobe already didn't really play his first year. His second year is when he started to get more playing time. And he was voted into the All-Star game as a starter, and he wasn't even a starter on his own team. And then they had to move Eddie Jones for him to really get the shine that he deserved because of the work that he was putting in. So if he stays at Charlotte after getting drafted there, I don't think his career is nearly what it is now, the way we view it, with him winning, 5 rings,
Yeah.
being an all-time top player, all-star, all NBA, all defensive, all these things. I still think he is a great player, but not the same magnitude. And you're right, like we don't know him the way that we know him now, because he's in LA, right? Number one, you're in LA, so you're marketable. You're playing for the biggest franchise that there is, and then you win 5 rings. I don't think if he stays there and plays there 20 years versus end up getting traded or asked to be traded or signed somewhere else, I don't see him winning even 1 ring.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he would have won a ring if he stayed in Charlotte. But
Because you gotta look at like Shaq won a ring with Kobe. Kobe won a ring with Shaq. Like Shaq had Penny Hardaway. Now, there's a lot of things that you have to break down and dissect with that situation, but they didn't win. They got to the finals and lost to the Houston
Rocks.
Rockets, but they didn't win, right? And Shaq didn't win before Kobe, and Kobe didn't win without Shaq until he got Pau Gasol, another legendary big. So I, his career definitely will not be the same. I think he still puts up some of or close to the stats that he has. But we don't know him in the same scale, and his team accomplishments wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you guys. I feel like his career obviously would have been different, but he would have had a kickstart to his career and would have been on a faster track rather than sitting back a little 2 3 years and like really dissecting and learning the game. He probably would have had a lot of mistakes along the way, but I really feel like he would only be in Charlotte for like 2 3 maybe 4 years the most, because like you gotta remember, like when he got drafted, like his whole press conference with the glasses, like this kid was flashy already, and he was destined obviously for a big like market. So I think that he would have eventually left to another team, whether that, whatever market that would have been. I feel like chasing Jordan, he would have really gone to Chicago. um I think that that would have been one of his destinations, but his career in Charlotte would have been short. I feel like he would have outgrown it really really fast, because he didn't really come into his own really until like after the lockout, the '98 lockout, and I feel like that's when he really turned that corner. And I think that the time span would have been the same with Charlotte. The
that,
lockout, he what's that?
but after he went to prom with Brandy.
What if he would have stayed with Brandy and not Vanessa? No, from all respects to Vanessa, obviously, but I think that his staying or in Charlotte would have also changed like so much for the NBA. And like think about how the Lakers not getting Kobe could also have meant that the Lakers also might have not got Shaq. Could have obviously meant that the Lakers would not win 3 titles, go to 4 finals. The whole dynasty of of LA would not be what it is right now. So like just that trade, that steal that Jerry West did, changed like an era and like the whole trajectory of fans and in his life and a lot of people's lives in general. So, but it also could have done wonders for Charlotte. Like think about like what Tim Duncan did with San Antonio. Taking a small market team and making it, respectable championships. I feel, on the other hand, that if he would have stayed in Charlotte, maybe 3 4 years, 5 years, and they maybe would have got another piece, with Michael Jordan being out of the picture, they probably would have made it to the finals. Who knows if they would have won? Just like when Shaq and Penny made it, but without Jordan being in the picture. So there's also that possibility. He was that good. He could have made it happen. So that's my take on it. If the what if.